Man, I've been like extra lazy when it comes to recording dreams in these last couple of weeks. Because I have three today already, and they're all like from a week ago at least, and I just haven't had the time or opportunity to record them. Well, I kind of did, but it's just that it's super annoying, sort of, um, because well, first of all, I cannot record with my frontal camera, which is kind of annoying. Second of all, there are always issues with the camera. Like it stops recording in the middle of it, or the audio is messed up, or something. Or I keep stuttering or something like that. But it doesn't matter. It's still more convenient than writing it down on paper. I cannot imagine actually doing an actual um, physical diary where you write things down. That's just not going to work. Or on computer either. It's like, no, definitely not. I'd rather just talk. Like I said, there are three dreams supposedly, but I've already forgotten the last one. But I do remember the other two. Um, the ones that I guess the ones that I had first. So one of them, one of them is I'm in the forest and it's wartime, and judging by everybody's equipment, it's like Second World War, um, and imagine that there's a hill that's slowly going upwards like this. Um, it's a clearing, so there are trees on the left side and on the right side. I'd say about 30 meters wide clearing, and there's no trees in the middle, and that's what I'm climbing up. And the sun is setting in the distance behind the hill, and I'm slowly climbing up, and I'm on the lookout for the enemy soldiers, enemy troops, and suddenly I hear rustling um, behind me and to the left of me. And I look there and I realize there's another soldier there, and I realize that it's a female soldier. And she's looking down the hill, so expecting to see me, but she's obviously missed me. But so I decide to kill her, and I take out my gun, and I aimed right under her helmet. So she had this like World War II era helmet, and for some reason I wanted to shoot her neck in between her helmet and her clothes, which now I realize doesn't make much sense because you can just shoot her in her body, right? She's not wearing like a she's not wearing like a chainmail or anything. Although I don't know if it would stop a bullet. She's not wearing a medieval knight armor, a full body armor. It's just a helmet. But I was aiming at her neck. So I shoot her, and then she doesn't like die immediately. She's kind of like, ow. And then she jolts a little bit. And she realizes that she's been killed, or almost killed, shot, fatally wounded. So she turns on her back in her little hiding place, in her hidey hole, and she starts masturbating. She starts pleasing herself. She touches her breast, and then with the other hand, she starts masturbating. As what? In my mind, the logic, I guess, was that this was her last seconds on Earth, so she wanted to experience pleasure in them, or whatever. But look, in the dream, I found it as bizarre as I find it now in real life. Um, so that was, and then after that, um, there was a whole squadron of women there, and they all started hunting me because they realized that the enemy is here, and one of them started taking a shower in the forest. Like there was a shower hanging from a tree, or like a canister of water, and she started showering. And as she was showering, she turned into this massive, like 3 meters tall stick monster, or some another stick monster, like some kind of Wolverine thing. It was skinny and brown, and I don't know what it was, but she turns into a monster and goes right at me, like starts chasing me, and I try to run away deeper into the forest, but it gets me, and I wake up. I was wondering. Let me check if it's recording. See, this is it's gonna be like this every single time now. I don't know if I'm gonna run out of memory, if my phone is gonna run out of electricity, or I don't know what's gonna happen. The second dream. Let me get a mint, actually. I got addicted. I'm absolutely addicted to these. I don't know how long my addiction will last, but I'm into it. I'm really into it so far. Okay. Okay. The second dream. Oh, this one is so cool. I don't remember for what reason, but in that dream, I was some kind of powerful being. I want to say a god. Not God with the capital G, as in the omnipotent God, but like a lesser god, so to speak. I don't know what I was exactly. I think in my head I had and this is so cringe. This is like, I cringe at myself dreaming that. But in my head, I had an image of Kratos from the God of War series. And I promise you, like, my taste is not that bad to actually dream of being Kratos, but this is what I had in a Sharon dream. I'm sorry. I cringe at it. I cringe at it for real. And he had these massive horns, like black, or not black. No, not black, like horns that were growing, not like normal horns grow, but like on some yak, like like those cows they have in Nepal or something. So it grew like this and then went up, and they were very, very broad. They were very long, and something also was holding me by those horns. I don't know what exactly it was, but in the image that I saw. And next thing I remember, this dream is so cool. I like it so much. I'm like really actually happy I had it. I wrote it down. When I woke up, I wrote it down so I would remember it. And I'm really thankful because I went through the list of things I wrote down, and I realize now that I would have never remembered those things. Okay, and then I'm floating on a rock in outer space. It's sort of static. Kind of. It's like a moon or something like that, but much smaller than the moon, than our moon. And I look around me, and the night sky, the space around me, is lit up with lights. Like, you know how you see pictures of space and everything in the background is mostly black? This was mostly like blue. Like, the color of the sky in the west during the sunrise. So you know how when the sun rises, the sky around it turns red or yellow or orange, but the sky on the other side is still kind of like dark blue, and then it gets lighter, right? So it's kind of like that sort of blue. It was still dark, but you could see the stars, and there were myriads of them. It was so beautiful. And my goal was to choose one, and I could teleport there. Um, I had to check it out and help people or fight or do some fighting activity or whatever. I don't know. But what was strange was I saw the map of our Earth projected onto the night sky. You know how with lights. So you know how you see sometimes those satellite pictures of the Earth at night, where you can see, where there are lights and where there are no lights and so on, like light pollution. So it's kind of like that sort of picture, except, which makes absolutely zero sense, it was projected onto this space around me, onto the night sky. Don't ask. And I teleported first to one place, and I don't remember where it was. I forgot it. I looked through my notes, and I had forgotten it by the time I wrote those notes. So no clue what it was. But the second place I teleported to, and there was this anxiety because what if I miss the Earth? So I know the Earth is like in this direction, but what if I had to like aim at it, with my eyes and imagine me going into that direction, and that it would teleport me there. But what if I'm like looking at the wrong spot and I accidentally miss the Earth and I go like billions of trillions of light kilometers of light years, light kilometer, billions of trillions light years past the Earth onto the first thing. And like if you miss the object in space that you're aiming at, you just keep going straight until you hit something, which I guess shouldn't be impossible. Like you cannot, considering the amount of objects in our universe and how vast it is, it shouldn't be possible to just teleport out of reality, just miss everything, go straight into nothingness. But that's kind of what I was afraid of, or ending up on an absolutely alien planet, which I know nothing about. It was terrifying making that leap. It was really terrifying. And when I made that leap for the second time, so what I saw first was it seemed like an endless ocean, blue ocean, and blue sky, so very much like the Earth, and a rock sticking out of the ocean, like a tiny island, not really even an island, just a big rock with some grass or some moss growing on it. And I realized in my head that I am on Earth. Okay, everything is good, but I teleported to... Okay, in my head, I had the name Plymouth, which is in the UK, but it wasn't there, right? I thought in my dream that I'm there, but it wasn't. But at the same time, okay, it's bizarre. I realized in the dream that I am at Cape Horn, so the southernmost point of South America. I knew that in the dream. But also inside my dream, I had the idea that the place was called Plymouth, which is not. Plymouth is elsewhere. It's in the UK. Anyway, but I was there, Cape Horn. And around me were a whole bunch of other rocks sticking out of the water. And as I started moving around, it was a very surreal landscape. Beautiful, beautiful, big sky, massive white clouds, endless horizon, and a quiet ocean. And, these green rocks sticking out of the water. so beautiful, so surreal, and dreamlike, very, very dreamlike. And then I realized that the water isn't that deep actually. It's like knee deep at most. And there are tons and tons. So it's like a plane that's slightly underwater that stretches very far. And as far as the eye can see, there are sunken ships, rotting, decrepit, falling apart, old, like, I don't know, 17th century galleons. I don't know if they had galleons already, probably. You know, old ships, old wooden European ships, everywhere. It was like a graveyard of ships. Um, and it just made the scene even more beautiful, even more unique. And I explored it for a bit, and then I went backwards in my head inside a dream. I think it was towards northeast, which, if you think about geography, there shouldn't be anything there, but in my mind, well, Atlantis maybe, Lemuria. No, Lemuria is in the Indian Ocean, if I'm not mistaken. Well, is, you know. And I go there and I end up in this area. I could fly as well. I could fly. Oh, that was so cool. Um, that was so cool. But I had to like flap my wings or just jump in the air constantly to do these. It wasn't like free flying, like that you can just float and ascend and descend. It was more like took effort to stay in the air. But I was flying, and I entered this area, which I've been to before, in my dreams, obviously, um, with huge, huge, huge trees. Trees that big do not exist in our world. Um, the trees as tall as skyscrapers, and as wide in diameter as like a little neighborhood. Massive trees with huge branches sticking out in all directions, and a canopy of leaves above, and um, these big dirt roadways running between them through the forest, and the sun shining through the leaves, and it was even more beautiful. And I was flying, and I was going up and down below the branches, and above. It was so cool. It was such a good dream. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I had it. Cringe in the beginning with the whole Kratos thing, but it wasn't like a character in the dream. It was gone. Third dream, I do not remember. I forgot it. I forgot it. I should have written it down. But I should have recorded it actually. But the problem with recording dreams, or actually, the reason why I need to record is I've tried writing things down as like notes, and it never works because I look at them afterwards and I'm like, what does this mean? You know, and that's it. I don't remember what the dream was. Possibly something about my ex girlfriend now ex. That was something I was gonna, the last time I was recording, it cut off as I was going to talk about two other dreams that I've had, and they were all basically just me meeting my girlfriend years after. But one was interesting. I think I want to tell it. I had in that one I had a wife. Years have passed since now, and I had a wife, and we had a kid, and the kid looked exactly like me. Um, exactly like me. But everything was blue and sad. And I saw my kid sort of in like a winter jacket, suspended like this, like in a cross shape, levitating in the air. I don't know what it meant, but it looked like me, but small, like a kid, you know. And I met my girlfriend, and she was traveling, ex-girlfriend, and she was traveling the world, and so on. And another dream I think I had, she was dating a guy who had a white G-Wagon, like a Mercedes Geländewagen,